Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is D-Man coming back at it again with another YouTube video, and today we're going to recap Day 7 of the Tennessee Titans training camp today. So let's go ahead and let's start things off with an update on Julio Jones and Josh Reynolds. They're not at practice again today. I'm more concerned about Josh Reynolds because I'm pretty sure, honestly... a lot of people are saying Julio's okay. We're just taking him very cautiously. Don't want to push him to do stuff that, that could cause an injury or something like that. So, what I'm saying is, Julio, I think is going to be a-okay. I wouldn't even mind him not returning to training camp at all for the rest of the, training camp, because he's going to the Hall of Fame. What's a couple weeks of training camp going to do for him? He's already been through it. He knows the deal, and we just need him healthy for the season. So hopefully Julio can stay healthy throughout the season. That's more of a concern for me at this point. But Julio Jones, he's going to be A-okay. Josh Reynolds is another question mark. He hadn't been there for 4, 5, 6 days. So... that's a little concerning for me, because I am a big fan of the pickup of Josh Reynolds, and I'm a big fan of him. Just how he meshed there in, for the Rams, and he's in a very similar situation here in Tennessee. So I believe he's going to have a great year, but you just don't know what's going on right now. So that's a little concerning for me. Honestly, that's very concerning for me, because I really want Josh Reynolds to be our number 3 for the year, and he will be our number 3 unless, something happens like this. If he gets hurt, injured, something happens. But in my opinion, Josh Reynolds is a little bit more of a bigger deal than Julio, because we're really being cautious with Julio, but there's still a question mark about Josh Reynolds. Yeah, Derek Roberson back on the field today, so that's great. And let's continue on. Here's Ryan Tannehill getting some drill work in. And again, some of you have concerns about Tannehill's interceptions. Again, I talked about this yesterday. There's not really anything to be concerned about with the interceptions and stuff, because he's probably throwing balls that he wouldn't normally throw in a regular season game. You know what I'm saying? So he's probably testing out some different, throws to see if he can fit it in this window here. And I'm sure that's leading to interceptions. So I'm 100% okay with Ryan Tannehill having however many picks he has, 5 or 6 or whatever it is. Just because he's probably just, seeing what he can do. And seeing, since there's nothing to lose, so I mean, why not try and see if you can fit balls here or there? So that's understandable why he has that many picks. And if you go back to when, I don't remember what year it was, but I saw this on Titan Upload. If you don't know who he is, he's actually a YouTuber that I watch sometimes. But he actually mentioned a stat about Marcus Mariota and him having 0 interceptions throughout the entire throughout training camp through its entirety, and in the first week of preseason, in the first quarter, in the first or second drive, he throws an interception. So it doesn't matter if you have 50 interceptions or 0. We'll see what Ryan Tannehill is working with when we get to the preseason, and that's probably going to be week 2, week 3 preseason before we see him out on the field. I don't think we're going to put any starters out week 1. That's just normally what they do. And then also, can't wait for the season to start, guys. And then the big question is backup quarterback, Deshaun Kaiser. Honestly, guys, who would y'all rather have, Deshaun Kaiser or Logan Woodside? That's a big question for me, because we are honestly screwed either way if Ryan Tannehill gets hurt. So, really, you could decide that. I could care less, because really, if Ryan Tannehill goes down, we're in trouble. So let's continue on here. Now, this was interesting today. This is probably one of the more bigger talked about subjects today with Brady Breeze. A similar situation happened. If you guys didn't see what happened in Carolina, Brady, it wasn't Brady Breeze, but it was like some undrafted free agent. Pretty much made a dangerous hit on a wide receiver, and the wide receiver had to be carted off the field, and that safety was actually removed from practice and kicked off the team. So, and Vrabel talks about how there's a line in between making a physical play and still being, cautious and careful about your teammates and not wanting them to get injured. So, you want to see guys, be physical and stuff like that. But again, this is something interesting because Brady Breeze obviously is a 6th-round pick, trying to make the team, and the hit, you guys might be questioning who it was on. It was on Dez Fitzpatrick, and Dez is, from what I've heard, he's fine. But this is just a rookie mistake, I think. And Brady Breeze was actually removed from practice right when this hit happened, so hopefully he can bounce back from it, because this is honestly, sometimes you just can't help it, and you just try to make a play on the ball, and you go kind of high on a receiver, and it happens. But you kind of just want to be safe, especially in training camp, because the guys you're playing against are your teammates, and you want to keep them healthy. So that's honestly, in my opinion, I think it's a rookie mistake. But he should be back, and hopefully he can continue to work for a spot on the roster. So let's keep going here. Dylan Radins, nothing. I haven't heard much about Dylan Radins, and probably a reason why, because Vrabel pretty much said he needs to be better, more consistent. Likes him, but wants to see more improvement and consistency. So I expect Kendall Lamb to be our starting right tackle to start the year, and then maybe Dylan Radins works his way into that role at right tackle, but definitely needs to, have some, he's got to be good. He's got to be, he's got to outwork Kendall Lamb, and I think with the signing of Kendall Lamb this offseason was kind of like a placeholder until we get our guy at right tackle, and we think our guy's Dylan Radins right now, but he just needs to prove us a little. He's got to be a little bit better. From what Vrabel said, that's what I'm kind of getting at. But honestly, I think Kendall Lamb's going to be our starter to start the year off, and then maybe throughout the year Dylan Radins improves and he can take that spot at right tackle. Because in my opinion, I see Kendall Lamb as a placeholder. For us until we can find that guy at right tackle, and I think Dylan Radins is our guy, but just not for right now. Give him a couple months, and maybe he can find his role into the starting lineup. But for now, I think we're gonna have Kendall Lamb there. Vrabel on the Titans bringing back Taylor Lewan. They're bringing him back, slowly. Obviously, he's coming off an ACL tear, so you don't want to just rush him out there. The plan is to incorporate him into more practice moving forward. So far, he's been limited. So, this is what you would probably expect from a guy coming off of an ACL tear. Taylor Lewan has told us already. He had a press conference today, and we'll see him talk here in a second. But Taylor Lewan said he is 100%. He feels great. He feels what he feels like his old self. So what he said. And the plan is to have him back week 1. That's exactly what he said. And I'm all for that plan. Don't want to do anything stupid in training camp to have a chance of injury. And then the goal is to have him back by week 1, which is a perfect timetable, just in time for the season to start. And again, last year Taylor Lewan went out, and you had guys like Tyson Braylo, Dennis Kelly come in, who is no longer on the team. You had David Quisenberry and guys like that came in and filled his role pretty well. You saw a running back in Derrick Henry go for 2,000 yards without your best offensive lineman. So kind of think about that. But you kind of have to, in the passing game, that what happens is you got Taylor Lewan, who can handle guys one-on-one on the outside, and maybe you have a replacement for him, and you might have to give him a little help in the pass protection there, which kind of, it's breaking down your offensive line, because Taylor Lewan can handle one-on-one situations, and then guys like Quisenberry, Dennis Kelly, and Tyson Brelo might need a little help there out on the outside. So you might have to double team some guys, and then it kind of opens it up for everyone else on that defensive line to get home. So having Taylor Lewan back is going to be, I think, very big in the passing game. I think it's going to be an improvement in the run game as well, but really, really important in the passing game, because you're pretty much going to have to. We have full confidence in Taylor Lewan in a one-on-one situation, whether it be Myles Garrett or, I don't know, a bad linebacker, outside linebacker, edge rusher in the NFL. But no matter who it is, I think Taylor Lewan can handle him one-on-one, and that's what we've known Taylor Lewan to be a great tackle in the NFL, and he's shown us that he's been a great tackle in the NFL, and he can handle one-on-one situations. So having him back will be huge. Let's move on. This is a little Mike Vrabel press conference after a week of training camp. Again, link will be down below if you guys want to watch any of these videos. I'm going to keep it quiet, and we're going to keep going here. And this is kind of what I was talking about earlier with Julio. We're being very cautious with Julio. So Julio will watch so the Julio watch will continue. Said he'll have limited practice schedule in training camp. So kind of what I said earlier, not going to, like I said, I wouldn't even mind him not returning to training camp at all. I'm not even lying, because Julio's been through it. He knows the deal. And obviously he probably needs to, get back to the feel of football. But in my opinion, he's been there, done that. Maybe get some individual work, but you just don't want to put him in a situation where he can, get injured. So it's just very interesting to see how they're going to handle this Julio situation. But like I said, I would literally just hold off until week 1 of the regular season, and then he knows what he's doing, and he should be good to go. But again, he's going to need some probably individual work, stuff like that. But maybe he sees the preseason a little bit, but for the most part, I think that we are going to be very cautious and limit him in as much as we can to prevent injury. So that's my thought on that. Taylor Lewan said he's feeling good. Can't wait to return to full go in practices. Said week 1 isn't going to be a problem. So that's where I'm getting that week 1 from. He's setting that mark. He's going to be back week 1. Again, he hadn't been going, team. I would imagine he's not, because he says can't wait to return to full go in practices. So he's probably been doing a lot of individual work, footwork stuff, and stuff like that. So again, for obvious reasons. But again, week 1, good timetable of return, just in time for the season to start. So kind of already touched on this a little bit, so we'll move on, and let's continue. And here is Taylor Lewan, pitter patter. Let's get at her. I love that shirt. This dude is a freaking amazing dude, man. He makes me laugh. Bussin' with the Boys, hilarious podcast. Probably, by far the biggest personality on the team. You don't really see many offensive linemen be a fan favorite for a team, but Taylor Lewan is a fan favorite. Probably personality-wise, definitely my favorite player personality-wise on the team. And on offense, he's got to be probably right behind Derrick Henry, maybe Tannehill up there too. But in my opinion, as a Titans fan, and obviously most of you guys are Titans fans that are watching this, you gotta love Taylor Lewan. I mean, he's a great dude, and he loves the game, and he's a great player. Everything you want out of a player, it's here in Taylor Lewan. So you gotta love that. But yeah, if you want to watch that, again, links down below. Let's continue. Yeah, there's that. Let's continue. I think we'll get a little bit of, and there's the mention of the shirt there. But I think we'll get a little bit of wide receivers here in a second. Yep, here's good old A.J. Brown. little drill there, and I think we get a little bit more of receiver work here. So yeah, there's NWI, Des Fitzpatrick, who is I'm imagining is okay. There's Racy McMath, but still looking for that final spot for the roster wide receiver wise. So gonna be interesting to see who takes that spot. I heard Chester Rogers getting a little bit of love too. He's had a pretty solid camp so far, but I really like Cam Batson. I really hope Cam Batson gets that returner spot. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. Again, I've been mentioning this a lot of recent, just because it's been a big talk for the Titans, trying to figure out who's going to be that guy to return kicks and stuff like that. That's a pretty important role too. So yeah, let's move on. Brian Hill. Good old Brian Hill. I kind of forgot about him, guys. I'm not going to lie. I kind of forgot about Brian Hill. But Brian Hill was a big addition, a big add to the team. In my opinion, it's a big add. Of course, you still have Darrington Evans. You've got Jeremy McNichols. But Brian Hill, I think, is a guy that can come in and give you snaps. And he's going to be able to help the Titans win. I think Brian Hill had a great year last year in Atlanta. And he can continue that into Tennessee. And I'm going to be very interested to see. I forgot. Honestly, I forgot about Brian Hill, and I was wondering who's going to be the. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be the running back 2. I think that's going to be Darrington Evans, but maybe he can get that 3 spot, and we'll see how McNichols where he stands. But Brian Hill looks really good there. And I was a big fan of Brian Hill too. I can't believe I forgot him, but Brian Hill, we'll see how he falls in the roster. Here's King Henry. Good to see him get some reps there. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, that's gonna do it. That's pretty much everything. And I do have a couple notes, but I kind of already covered them. It was about Julio. It was about Josh Reynolds, Taylor Lewan, Dylan Radin. So all those guys that I kind of mentioned. But yeah, I think I've mentioned everything. Brady Breeze was another note that we kind of covered already. So all the notes that I had here, we kind of covered them throughout the video. But with that being said, trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything here. But yeah, if I forgot anything, let me know down below. But with that being said, I think that's going to do it. Alright, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Until next time, I'll see y'all.